Hello again. Today we're going to tie this living damsel. This is, oh dear, this is just I dropped a hook then, I found it. This is just a more natural representation of a damsel nymph. I quite enjoy tying these. The tail can be very fiddly. Basically the tail, I won't bore you with making the tail, but the tail is just 3 little pinches of olive marabou, and I've plaited it. So I put a needle in the vise, I tie the scrappy ends, these ends here, to the needle, and then I separate the bunch of marabou into 3 pieces and then just plait it. A little bit of thread right down the bottom with a touch of super glue gives you a really awesome tail. Really wiggles in the water, and it really does. I think it looks brilliant. Anyway, eyes are just red beads that I've put onto a piece of fishing line and then melted the ends. Thorax, Peacock Curl, a gold ribbed, and some dubbing, which is a mixture of a tiny bit of spectra, some olive hairs here, and some sort of dark olive seal's fur. Anyway, the legs are partridge hackle. Let's take this one out of the vise, and in the hook is a size 10. Oh, what is that actually? That's not the right hook. Seems to be a sneaky hook in my packet that wasn't the right hook. That's better. Wonder if I put it in there. Probably put that in there by accident. Anyway, this is the correct hook. Size 10 partridge hook. It's a wet heavy, as the pattern's name. So I'm just going to put some lead wire onto the shank just to give me a little bit of weight. Just sort of 10 turns of 0.40 lead wire just to help the nymph sink. Thread, Uni 60 in olive, and as always, I'm going to run the thread through the wax just to help me get started. And we will get going. So as normal, I put, well, not as normal, I put the lead in the middle of the shank. What I was going to say is, as normal, we start the thread a little ways behind the eye. I want to trap that lead in the middle of the shank. Break your waist off, whoopsie-daisy, double check your wax. Just going to spin the thread anti-clockwise just to open it out a little bit. Oh dear. What is that hair on there? It's annoying, isn't it? Come over the lead with the flattened thread, and now we just pop the eyes on. I just want to get rid of that hair. That was annoying me. As I said, eyes are just little tiny 2mm beads. And then I've just put them onto a piece of nylon fishing line. Whoopsie-daisy. And burnt the end so the beads can't come off. Now, I'm just sorry if my hands are in the way. I'm trying to keep these nice and level, nice and straight. Make sure you're where you want them. A couple of cross wraps here and there. And then I'm just going to come under the eyes, over the shank. Make sure they're level, make sure they're lovely. I'm happy with that. And then we're going to just come down to where the barb is. And as normal with when I put eyes on, I'm just going to put a little bit of varnish just in between the eyes. I know some people say you shouldn't do this because you don't need to, but I've always done it. I've always put varnish or a bit of super glue in between the eyes. I'm just trying to clean my needle. It just helps to secure them on there in my mind. So. And I've never had them come off do this, ever. Hand on heart, I don't think I've ever had, well, I know I haven't, eyes come off. So I shall carry on doing it like that. Right, we're going to take our tail, which was the plaited marabou. And now I want the tail to be maybe a couple of hook shanks out the back. I'm just going to shorten the last little bit here that comes out the back. Again, don't cut it, just tear it. Just want that bit a little bit shorter. I'm going to take my measure. 1, 2, have a look. Come over with your thread, catch him on. Have a look if you're happy. Yeah, I'm going to have a little bit shorter. Oops. Come on, sit where you want to sit. Let's tie that in. It's being a bit of a monkey. That's better. Happy with that. Tie it down nice and tight. Now, trim. I'm going to try and trim this as much as I can so I'm not left with a step. You will get a step here, but just try and do your best to make it as small as you can, and then tie down the waist ends. There you go, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to tie in some Peacock Curl, and this is just 4 strands of Peacock Curl. And I mean, you'll get a few flies out of these 4 strands because we don't use much of it. We're going to tie that on, keeping it on the top, all the way back to the tail. I'm just going to come under the tail a couple of turns here, just to help prop it up. That's better. Right. We're going to come in with a gold wire. Tie the gold wire on, just going to check my wax. Whenever I'm putting wire on, because wire can be slippery. I'm going to run the thread up, tying in that wire, bring the thread back, and now get your dub in. So like I said, this is just olive, hare's mask, or hare's ear, sorry, spectra dubbing, tiny little bit. That's the tiny bit of flash you can see in it, and olive seal's fur. Like a dark olive seal's fur. So we're going to dub this on. Nice and tight. Come round. Tighten it up. Just don't forget, we still want to try and create that nice tapered effect. A little tiny bit more dubbing. Nice and tight on the thread. It's lovely to dub on this dubbing. It really does hold up really well. Okay, incy tinsy wincy bit more. It's a great phrase, isn't it? Tinsy wincy. Right, now I'm going to come over with thorax cover, catch it, couple of turns, 2 or 3, come around with the wire, try and keep your thorax cover on top as you're bringing that wire around. The wire's just going to help protect everything. Get 3 or 4 turns of wire in. Have a look. Just not happy with that first turn. Always go back if you're not happy. Want straight enough for my liking. So let's come round there. Come up, get your wire in. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Catch wire off. Wax thread. 1, 2, 3. Put it back. Couple of turns. Wiggle it. And that'll break off. Bring that thorax cover back. Tie that in. And now get yourself an olive partridge feather. There we go. Lovely olive partridge feather. We're going to strip what I don't want off the bottom. We're going to peel back all but the very tip. Catch it in with the good side of the feather facing yourself. Make sure we got wax on the thread here when we're tying that in. Come in, take your tip away. Just be careful of your thread, be careful of everything. I'm going to use a hackle plier just so you can just so you can see. And then I'm, oops a daisy, let go, look, that's the first time this hackle plier has done that. Actually cut the stem. We're going to come round, 1, 2, whoops, let go again, little monkey. So have some patience. You know, I mean, you only want a couple of turns out of this, so if we can get 1, 2 in there, that's better. Bring it up, catch it off. Just ignore everything just for the minute. I know it all looks a bit weird. Come in with your scissors, dig that stem out, take the stem off. Right, now do your best without stabbing yourself. Do your best to sweep all these fibres back. Any going forward, I'm just going to come in and get rid of. Just like that. Now, what I do is just take off some of these fibres on top. Don't really need them. There we go. Come in with a bit more dubbing, just to cover all this up and to finish the head. So nice and tight. Bring it up. Dub it on. Come out, and we're going to figure 8 through the eyes. Some dubbing in front. Make sure we got a nice bit of dubbing behind. That's it. Sort of behind, like in the eyes. Tie from the front. Bring your thorax cover over. 1, 2, 3. Pull it back. 1, 2, 3. Trim. And as always, we're going to, excuse me, we're going to varnish the thread. And then just whip it off. There you go. Trim. Any nasty bits going forward of the eye that have misbehaved or whatever. And there we have it. That is my little interpretation anyway of a living damsel. Sometimes when they're just being finicky, sometimes something a little bit more realistic is the way to go. Lastly, I'm just going to check my eyes clean. I mean, these tails, I love them. I just think they look so good, and they swim really well in the water too. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.